Welcome back. As the war in Iran wages on, oil prices are on the rise. We've been telling you this now for a better part of 2 weeks. For the second straight day, oil prices closed above $100 a barrel. While oil prices continue to rise, so do the prices at the pump. AAA is reporting that the average price of unleaded gas is now $3.63. The impacts of crude oil prices and gas prices can be difficult to understand for sure.
So we've invited someone on to help us kind of understand this better. We've got Jack Buffington, a professor at Daniels College of Business at the University of Denver. Thanks for joining us today.
Happy Friday.
Yes, it is Friday. Through line here. We have a war in the Middle East. We're talking about oil prices. How does that translate back to here in Colorado? We're seeing higher gas prices.
Right. So the Strait of Hormuz, which people are hearing about in the news, about 20% of all crude comes from that strait. So it's very important when it comes to the price of fuel that we pay in Colorado. Even though in Colorado we do not get any of our energy for gasoline from that strait, we get it all from Wyoming and Colorado, it's affected by global prices. So just to give you kind of a way this is figured out is there's something called the West Texas Intermediate, which is the price that we pay for a barrel of oil in the United States. That was $65 a barrel before the war. Now it's at 95. The equation is for every $10 of increase, it's in Colorado, it's about 30 cents to the gallon. So consumers can watch what's happening there and see why it's gone up by $1 a gallon.
See, that's really important. I've never heard anybody give an equation like that. And when we talk about $100 a barrel, we say it, on the news like it's $100 a barrel. And
what does that mean?
If you don't know, you don't know. I don't know what So the equation is great, but I'm wondering what's the time frame when oil starts going up? How long does it take to see it at the pumps?
Right, so oil traders trade on a future market. So immediately what they look for is the risk moving forward. And so given the fact that the strait is basically shut down, 20% of the oil is not able to get through there, they're looking at the risk. And that actually, the price of oil went up to almost $120 a barrel and came back down because the world's releasing energy into the market. So immediately you see that price increase when it comes to gasoline. When it comes to diesel price, which affects people's food costs, you're going to see that happening a little bit later.
Interesting. We hear a lot about the reserves. Let's tap into the reserves. What are some of the logistical solutions when this happens? What should we understand about reserves? What does that all mean?
So what a reserve does, it buffers the existing fuel sources. Sure. And so what was released will buffer the world for about 20 days. So that's something important for people to understand, is that I expect that the gas prices will remain relatively around that 370, but if the war continues past 20 days, you're going to potentially see it go higher than that, and hopefully that doesn't happen.
And we're getting close to that now, if I'm correct. It's like 13,
about 2
14
weeks in,
days,
so
2
yeah.
weeks. The Persian Gulf, rich with oil, but this country produces oil too. Is it just that the sheer volume that comes out of that part of the world, 20%, is just, it doesn't matter whether we release the reserves will help, but it's not going to solve the problem, right? If the Strait of Hormuz continues to be shut down, people are going to feel this across the globe.
You're right. I mean, it really comes down to logistics and how oil flows around the world. And so the strait is primarily responsible for oil to Asia. The other thing it's responsible for is liquefied natural gas to both Asia and Europe. So even though it doesn't have an impact on our massive energy reserves and how we enjoy that, it does have an impact on the prices that we pay.
Yeah, clearly why Iran is using it as a threat.
Correct.
And we're all very connected, right?
In this way, for sure.
Jack Buffington, thanks for coming in today to help us trying to just make a little sense of these. We're hearing these headlines, right? But like actually understanding what they mean. Thank you for being a translator today for us.
Appreciate it.
And that equation, I wrote it down.
Great. I'll quiz you next time.
All right.